Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, wow, I'm excited. We got another absolutely wonderful show coming your way. This week, we are honoring our veterans and their contributions to all the things that they are doing and that they did and was willing to sacrifice their life to make sure that our country remained free and great and uh, a lot of great things are happening just because of these veterans. And first of all, I want to thank these great veterans. I want to thank Al. I want to thank Michelle. But most importantly, I want to get the radio portion started first so that we can get both the television, radio, all the other streaming mechanisms on the same sheet of music. So it's Todd. Let's do it. Let's get it started. Todd. Uh-oh.
J.C. Cooley.
Okay. Seems like we might have some problems with our opening with the radio, so let's try that again. Hey, Todd, can you hear me? Let's get this thing started. Well, I think we started with the radio, so welcome to the St. James Cooley Show. Just like I said, it's your life. And as always, I got my absolutely fantastic co-host, Michelle Cooley, who's also the executive producer, and we got Al Renatera here as well. And I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic show. There we go. Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, today we're gonna be talking to two absolutely fantastic guests. Actually, we're going to talk to a whole lot of them because you out there, or wherever you're listening to the show, if you listen to it on the radio, you can call in at 1-888-577-2473. If you're watching it on one of the mechanisms, E360 television, YouTube, over 25 plus other mechanisms, all you have to do is just go to the comments portion of it and just let us know you're here for one thing, say hello, and ask the great guests any questions that you like. I mean, and I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic show. How you doing out there, Michelle?
I'm doing good. Can't wait till you get back home. Miss you. But we've got an amazing show today, and I'm excited. I'm just proud of all the veterans that we had and we continue to have on the show.
And we got a great show, and just like the J.C. Cooley Foundation is teaming with my main man, Al Renatera, and the Southwest Veterans Resource Center, and this man is doing a lot of great things out there, especially when it comes to veterans, but not just veterans, but society as a whole. And I tell you, it's a lot more things to come. How you doing, Al? How you doing?
JC, you brought the rain. When you leave, don't take it with you, okay?
Well, I'm jumping on that plane. I'm jumping on that plane tomorrow, man, and I'm gonna take the rain back with me. No. Or I might leave it. I don't know. So I tell you, our viewers and our listeners out there, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is, again, 1-866-577-2473. Michelle, let's get this show started. Why don't you, first of all, tell our viewers and our listeners the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce these two magnificent guests.
Oh, most definitely. So the title of the show is called Paying It Forward with Lessons Learned. And the purpose of the show is getting to know retired U.S. Navy captains Jaime Navarro and Valerie Almond, and discuss Jaime's lessons learned with others about experiences joining the Navy and earning his way to a commission and retiring as a Navy captain. We're going to talk to Valerie about her books based on lessons learned in the Navy and sharing those lessons through stories that appeal to the young adult age group. And Jaime is going to be discussing his mentorship of midshipmen at the Naval Academy, friends, children, anyone with an interest in joining the military, and providing positive feedback on on his experience. And Valerie is going to talk about helping other writers and small business owners with what she has learned since her Navy retirement. So let's talk about these amazing guests. They got bios, but I'm just going to kind of summarize it. So Jaime Navarro, he grew up in El Paso, Texas, enlisted in the United States Navy and graduated from the United States Naval Academy, completing over 36 years of service. He served in staff assignments in the Chief of Naval Operations Strategic Concepts Divisions in the Pentagon, and as both the Secretary of the Inter-American Defense Board and Chief of Staff of the Inter-American Defense College, working in the international environment. When not working on volunteering, Jaime became an accomplished equestrian, spending 9 years riding and competing in the National Capital Adult Equestrian League team, helping his team earn the first place championship in the 8-team league. He also earned the annual Sportsmanship Award and the Reserve Sportsmanship Award among over 100 participants for being the best team player and for assisting other teams. Now let's talk about Valerie Orman. She retired as a Navy captain after a 25-year career as an intelligence officer and then founded her own business, Veteran Writing Services, LLC. She provides companies and organizations professional writing, editing, and consulting services. And she has authored 3 novels centered around a military family. Believing in Horses 2, and Believing in Horses Out West have won 13 national and international awards, including gold medals in the Military Writers Society of America Book Awards and first place in the National Federation of Press Women's National Communication Contest. Her education includes a Master's of Strategic Studies from the U.S. Army War College, a Master of Strategic Intelligence from the National Intelligence University, and many more. There's so much to learn about them. So please welcome retired United States Navy captains Valerie Orman and Jaime Navarro to the show. Woo!
Captains, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing?
Outstanding on this election day. We're very excited.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
We all excited, and it's the world might look a little different tomorrow, but that's how it is. Hopefully for the best. So first of all, can you guys tell our listeners and viewers where you all at right now, and then tell us a little bit about you. I know Michelle talked about you guys a little bit, but we're gonna give you guys an opportunity to really delve into who you all are, because you all are the features for today. So let's start with you, Captain Jaime. Tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself.
Was that me?
That's you.
Okay. Well, I think you mentioned I'm from El Paso, Texas. Being here in Maryland is simply because this is where I retired, and this is where the woman I love also retired with me. So I'm a Maryland, Texas person, and I fell in love with the culture up here of crabs in the ocean and all that kind of stuff. It's when I was at the Naval Academy, and then of course we introduced horses into the formula, and now I'm sold Marylander, and of course hopefully my Texan friends aren't offended.
Me and Michelle are in Texas right now. That's our primary home. We also live in California. What about you, Valerie? Tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself.
Well, Michelle, thank you for that nice introduction. And she talked about, some of my military background. And but I grew up here in Maryland. That's one of the reasons I ended up back here. But it was actually the same thing. Some of my last assignments were here, and it just kind of made sense. And I thought I was going to eventually go back to San Diego, but then we got here and we had dogs and we had horses, and we have a kind of little farmette now. So it's and my business, there's a lot of my business and my clients are here. So it just makes sense. And now our horses are so old that we don't really want to transport them across the country anyhow. It wouldn't be very fair to them. So, and now we have so much stuff. If we haven't moved, we moved every couple of years in the military, and then now we haven't. So looking at all this stuff, it's just like, I think we're just going to stay here for a while.
Can you tell our listeners and our viewers, how did you two meet? How did you guys meet?
Well, I mentioned San Diego. We met out in San Diego. We worked at the same command. We were both deputies. I was deputy intelligence officer. Jaime was deputy operations officer. We worked together a lot and sort of had a lot of the same thoughts on things like, getting organized and getting schedules straight. And so, but so it started as a working relationship. And then we both, both worked out a lot and competed and found that we had a lot in common. And then our follow-on tours happened to both be here in DC. So then we, continued to get to know each other better. And then, and then now it's been however many years later, but 15 years of marriage. And so all good.
So Jaime, Texas, El Paso, Texas, what drove you, or did you always want to go into the Navy Academy, all that good stuff? What was the driving point of you leaving El Paso to join the Navy?
Well, it was younger days when my family took a couple of trips over to San Diego and took another trip to Los Angeles. Once you see that and you come back to El Paso, you're like, wow. We got cactus or beautiful palm trees, and I chose the cactus. I chose the palm trees over the cactus, but I think it's in your DNA. I have 2 kids. One is adventurous. One doesn't want to move. and I was the adventurous type. And so I had a grandfather in the Marine Corps. I had a grandfather in the Navy. It didn't really matter to me. Whoever said yes first was going to get Jaime Navarro.
So, hey, Big Al, you up?
Yeah, hey, Val, Jaime. It's been a while since we've seen ourselves here in Oceanside, California. But Val, your career is certainly unique. Tell the audience what that means.
Well, I think what you're referring to is I ended up having a few different jobs, and the Navy's like that anyhow. You go from job to job. But I started because my degree was in English and mass communication, my undergraduate degree. I was working in public relations, so that kind of made sense. And then I wanted to do something different, and I ended up in the intelligence field. And that's where I spent the majority of my time. But then when I retired, I went more into, I was writing when I retired, and I had written all along. And then I just changed, I decided to start my small business with writing and doing business development kind of writing, which I didn't know anything about when I was in the military. And I have a small business, and I'll help and try to counsel anybody I can, tell them what I've learned all along the way in all those different fields, if it may help.
Well, I think what's important, as you've expressed yesterday, the positive approach to things, because a lot of folks don't know how to write, or reluctant to say, hey, I don't know how to write, and your business brings value to that. Jaime, my compadre, Alfonso Moreno, lives in El Paso, and I've been there, okay? And I think the Army moved the big installation out there, right?
Yes, sir. Fort Bliss is huge out there, and it's growing.
Well, share with us your earliest learn in life experiences, if you can, because El Paso to Navy Academy to where you're at today, that's a big hike, and we want to share with the audience is hiking is good, but it's a deterrent if you're not ready for the hike. So share with us what steps, what life experience got you ready for that long hike?
Well, I go back down to my parents, and both my mom and my dad had incredible work ethic. Once they put their mind to doing something, it was going to get done, and it was going to get done correctly and with quality. And my father was, he was a painter, a construction worker, and I worked with him through my high school years and stuff like that. One of the reasons I joined the Navy is I don't want to do that my entire life. That's hard work, it's hard work. But what he did teach me is everything you attack, you got to accomplish it and do it properly. So here I joined the Navy with a small opportunity to go in the nuclear power program. I got a waiver. Then I get another opportunity at Naval Academy Prep School with a waiver. And we got into the academy with a waiver. And you know what? As long as you give me that opportunity, my mindset is I'm going to get it done, because that's what I was taught when I was younger. So
hold that
one step at a time.
Hold that thought, because we got to take a station break.
Station
We're
break.
gonna come back.
Station
We're
break.
gonna come back and we're gonna pick it up. And we are really going to delve off into these two great captains. And I tell you what, you want to be part of the conversation? 1-866-577-2473, or go to StreamYard, or go to any mechanism that you're watching it on, and ask any question you want to. Remember, it's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Pyrrhic.
In October.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me.
Life Coming of Age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural Deep South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Streaming now at theanswersandiego.com and odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just these two absolutely fantastic guests that we have on today. Al, as you know, we had an introduction yesterday, getting a chance to meet the 6 veterans that we are featuring. It's 18 million veterans in the United States and around the world, and and it's an absolute pleasure to identify these 6 to represent all of the rest of them, because they're doing some absolutely great things. So today we have Valerie and Jaime. Both of them are retired 06s and doing great things, and they got a love for horses and a lot of other great things, and so we're gonna delve off into getting a chance to know them a lot better, and their interests and the things that they're doing. And if you want to be part of the conversation, again, that's 1-866-577-2473. You're going to go to StreamYard or any mechanism like YouTube, Facebook, all of the other mechanisms. You can ask them the questions. So I want to pick it back up with you, Jaime. You were telling us about the Naval Academy, nuclear power, leaving El Paso, Texas, and can you pick it back up with that? I don't want to leave the audience hanging. I was off into that, but we had to take a station break.
Absolutely understand. What I'm saying is I had the opportunities, and every time they gave me the opportunity, I accomplished that. I accomplished whatever it was, a graduation from the Naval Academy. And then I wanted to go back to submarines, and they said, no, go become a pilot. Twist my arm. Next, 2 years later, I'm a pilot. And now, and then I've just kept staying, more opportunities. And that's the beautiful thing about the military. I mean, if you want to stay there, windows will open. And I jumped through all those windows with both feet.
Yeah, so that's that means you had a whole lot of jobs coming up in the Navy. Valerie, as you mentioned yesterday, and as I mentioned, you got this love for horses and animals, and also what you're doing there, writing and educating and teaching. Let's delve off into that. Let's delve off into the love of animals and horses and all of those things. I think that's important. I think that's soothing. I think that helps many relax. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I mean, I've loved horses since I was an itty bitty toddler. And a lot of people say that, again, like Jaime mentioned about it being in your DNA. Some people just don't even understand it. So, because it's not like I came from a big horse family or anything. It was something I loved and still do, and have learned a lot from them, and have learned a lot about the whole equine community just from being around it. And it has, part of it has to do with why I started writing my books, because I found out about this huge unwanted horse problem, and I wanted to help highlight that issue and let more people know about it. And of course, horse people know about it, but they say, well, everybody knows about that, but you wouldn't believe how many people have said to me, like, you mean there's really horse rescues and they really still sell horses for meat and all these things. So I thought that would be, a good way to help try to save the horses. And the same thing with equine therapy. My second book is about equine therapy, and it's so helpful for so many people. And there's studies on it, on why, but they say that the horses, can see into the soul. So it's, and also, there's a lot of young people around horses, and it's such responsibility to learn, and to learn about teamwork, to learn about competing, to learn about taking care of this huge 1,000-pound animal. And so there's just a lot good to being around horses, and a lot good for young people, old people, veterans. There's a lot of equine assisted services for veterans that have helped them, and I'm sure people see those on the TV once in a while. But so that was kind of my, I had started with a love of horses, and then used that love to help highlight some issues in the horse world.
Wow. So was it hard being able to put your thoughts together and writing those two books that you wrote about horses?
No, not really. Oddly enough, the writing isn't the worst part. The editing is the worst part. But no, the first idea just kind of, it came to me, and I wanted to take some of those lessons that I'd learned in the Navy, and use them, put them to use somehow. And so I did. And so my books aren't preachy, and they're not, they're not nonfiction. They're fictional stories that I thought that people would maybe read if I made them interesting. And but there are lessons there, particularly for the young adult group. And I actually have written a third book too, and that one's about that's about a dude ranch in Montana. And I wrote that one to share with people the experiences that they can have on these things, or maybe if they can't go on one, at least they can read about it through the pages. So now the ideas, I don't know, the ideas come to me. That's really not the hardest part. The hardest part is not even the editing, it's really the marketing, getting people to know about them.
And you're right, and because I'm in the middle, I have written books, and I'm in the middle of writing 3 at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And so the thoughts comes there, but you write about the editing and making sure that it makes sense to the reader, and etc. I want to talk about the title of the show. The title of the show is Paying It Forward with Lessons Learned. First of all, can you tell our listeners and viewers why you came up with that title and what's the purpose of it?
Well, since I did it, I'll take that one. I don't know. I watched a few of your shows, and I was just trying to think, you know, and I want something that we both. It's something that wasn't just about me or you know, just about him. But I was thinking about something that we have in common, and that's something we both really have in common. And we spend a lot of time around here. You know, like I friends or somebody will their child wants to, not child, but somebody wants to join the military, and we will meet with them, we'll go out with them, we'll take them to lunch, we'll answer all their questions, we'll try to encourage them. And that's something that we both feel very strongly about, and you know, we both feel like we've had a lot of opportunities because of the military, and so we just trying to pay it forward. And the same thing with my writing, that I learned so much through the process, going through the process. It's been over 10 years now. And so when other veterans are, you know, just starting, or anybody really, it doesn't have to be a veteran, but a lot of veterans happen to contact me. I try to give them some resources and try to talk through goals and things, just save them some of those hard-earned steps that I took. So, you have anything to say?
Well, I have Val's right. All the way through my career, and I know her. She has lots of examples where we see someone that's got potential, and you're in a leadership position, and you say, "Hey, ordnanceman, you are an E4. You should be an ensign." And he says, "No, sir, I'm an E4." And then you push him, and then you get him in the right program, and next thing you know, you're a lieutenant commander, and here comes ensign so-and-so, Moffett is in this case, and he is now a pilot. And it's because you taught him. It says you have that potential, and that's happened to me, and then it's also happened to folks that I've mentored and she's mentored. It's always good that's a great feeling when you get someone, even if it's just one, every 2 or 3 years that believes in you, and then you believe in them, and they accomplish something they never expected. I think that was me in my career. You know, above and beyond a 17-year-old E1 to get to where I'm at.
You know, you just mentioned something because it happened to me in my career. I was just doing my job, not even thinking about anything, and this a lieutenant commander chatted with me for a little bit and said, "You know what? You should be an officer." I'm looking at him like, "Oh, what?" He said, no. He said, "You should be an officer." He said, "Why don't you think about it?" And he said, "I mentor you. I do whatever I have to." And, you know, I left and went to another duty station, and I ran into him about 4 years later. I was an ensign. And he said, I see that you listened to what I said."
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I said, so that's important because a lot of times, Jaime, we see potential in someone, and if we don't let them know, because most of the time they have no idea that they are capable of doing these things, and we let them know that I see purpose, I see potential in you, and I believe that our viewers and our listeners are out there. You have to pay it forward. You have to push it forward. You know, so I love that the answers that both of you guys gave. Big Al, you up?
Yeah, you know, I'm listening to you, Jaime, and you know, the backdrop are my relatives, uncles, brothers. I'm in the corner, and the picture is bigger, but the backdrop only got these 8 shots. And certainly what influenced me, you know, Frank, I want to give a shout out. He emailed me yesterday, Vietnam combat. He says, "Hey, where are the combat Vietnam veterans?" Well, they're on this wall behind me. But we are a byproduct of them. You know, we learn from them. So Jaime, in your words, you know, what are some of the things that have influenced you? You mentioned your mom. You know, the guys behind me certainly influenced me. You know, what influenced you?
Yeah, there's throughout my career, as you know, especially over 36 years, individual commanding officers, individual lieutenant commanders is right above me. I didn't go through my career without mistakes, and that's, to me, was key. The influence came from having folks that believed in you even after you made a mistake, even after you didn't perform where you should have been. I mean, you know, you knock yourself on the head and you say, "I'll do better next time." He says, yeah, there will be a next time. And I'm like, great, I'm not fired. So the influences came across a great set of officers that just believed in me. And I learned from my mistakes, of course. And that's what's part of, success is learning from your mistakes and continuing to move forward. And then eventually someone said to me, it says, you need to be looking at, you're looking at admiral. You should be down this path. And I didn't join to become an admiral. I signed a 6-year contract. I mean, that's what I did. Next thing you know, someone's telling me that kind of stuff. And to me, I was like, wow, really? You believe that much in me? So you start believing in myself more so than I ever did. So I've had a lot of leaders, a lot of good leaders that believed in me and let me make mistakes.
Wow. And that's what it takes, the pathway. I think we're short on time, but I was going to ask you, Val, and you, Jaime, what's it feel to be the first woman? And Jaime, what's it feel to be with one of the very first women to have
Big guy, hold that question till we get back from the break.
Okay, there you go.
My producers let me know, so hey, we're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna pick it up from here. This is getting exciting. If you want to be part of the conversation, that's 1-866-577-2473, or go to whatever you're watching it on and ask these two great guest questions. Remember, it's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. It's something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you.
We are not a charity. We are veterans. We are warriors, brothers, and sisters. We don't need, we deliver. Opsforvets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
I'm Albert Rencheria, Marine Chief Warrant Officer 4 retired, Ops for Vets CEO. I invite you to take a look at our organization. You'll quickly understand why out of thousands of groups currently serving our veterans, we have become the most rapidly growing and opportunity-rich team in the market. We have deployed dynamic distributors who are responsible for servicing and growing their regions, East, Central, and West. We provide a complete roster of high-caliber services, produced to create the results you require. Find us on the web at www.opsforvets.com. Handshakes, not handouts.
Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and just like I was telling you, I mean, this it's heating up. Not that it was ever cooling off, but this is fun. This is exciting, and just to, have these two great guests, and especially when they're sharing the wisdom, understanding, and focus on to our listeners, our viewers, that sometimes if you see somebody got the potential, you sometimes have to give them that little push to let them know that, hey, I believe in you, I see something in you, and that's something to think about. And because that little push in my case, I didn't think I was capable of doing that like that. And that happens throughout life. So I want to thank both of you guys for sharing that. Now, Big Al, you had a question right before the break, but let me tell you, listening audience, if you want to be part of this, just take the time on 1-866-577-2473 and go to the comments and ask a question. You back up, Big Al.
Well, Jaime, this was directed at you, I believe. Did you get the question, that you need to repeat it?
Yeah, I think you better repeat it.
Well, I think I was going down the path of your influences, and the wall in the back represents some of my influences, and particularly as we learn with ourselves. You know, you coming from the past and listening to your story, I mean, that inspires me, and certainly influences about inspiration. So share your thoughts on that.
Well, I had mentioned the leadership piece of my career, where I was pushed. I was allowed to make mistakes and come back. People believed in me all the way through, my successful career. In the background, I also want to say one of my influences was someone that found me when I was in 4th grade. A teacher, believe it or not, a teacher that saw me do an oral report, believe it or not, even in 4th grade in Texas, on capital punishment. That's the kind of stuff they taught in Texas. Anyways, but she never let go. And even after I left and joined the Navy, she says, "You will go to college. I will get you to college. You deserve to go to college." And then I came back to her 2 years later in the Navy, said, "Hey, how about this Naval Academy thing?" And she's like, "Bingo, let's do that." And boom, she took off. Next thing you know, I'm getting a call from the Naval Academy, said there is some lady really harping on us about a guy in nuclear power school that should be in the academy. Talk about influences. When I retired, in 2011, I referenced her, and I said, hell, if everybody had a Helen Henry in their career, everybody would be successful.
And she was there.
That's a segue to the leading question on being right there next to Val. The first of a lot of things. And Val, this is more directed at you now. How does it feel, being the first woman on a lot of things? And, when I was in the Marine Corps back in recruiting since '80, we only put maybe one woman a month. Now the population has changed. You certainly are a pioneer to that change. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I feel very honored and lucky to have been given the jobs I had. I was one of the first group of women to deploy on a combat aircraft carrier, and that was history making, and now it's normal. And so a lot of my jobs where I was in, I was the first, and you learn a lot from being the first and having a lot of eyes on you, and some people rooting for you and some people not. And you take away a lot of those lessons and just, keep trying your hardest and doing your best. I always say to people, you can only do the best you can do. So, but I learned a lot, and I do think that's helped me in helping others, because when people say, well, how would you know? You've never, done anything hard. But I say, oh, yeah. There really is there's a lesson to be learned in just about everything, whether it's good or bad. But I was lucky that I had mostly good experiences.
We got a question from Dr. Eric Hall, and how your own experience, because it's the young that we got to reach out to. As we were kids, as you were telling us, Jaime, as kids we're influenced by a lot of different things, good, bad, and different. How would you share your experience to have the youth take a path that you share with them? This is addressed to you, Val.
Oh, okay. I'll go first then. And I would say, and it's really the theme of my books, right? Believing in horses. There's a reason why. It's not really all about horses, but it's about believing in yourself. Believing in yourself and your causes. And that if you really believe in what you're doing, anything can become possible. So that would be my short answer to that.
What about you, Jaime?
I think when we talk to, especially here and with our midshipmen that we sponsor, mean, they're already in and committed. We have a lot of folks that you got parents that don't know what their kids want to do. They're not sure they want to go to college, and they want us to talk to them about the military. And sometimes there seems to be a little bit of a fear of an unknown about that. And that's what we try to tell these folks that are young, because, they're living a different time frame than we did. It's not to be afraid to dive in, not to be afraid to just take that dive and see what it's like. I always say, if you don't like it, you're going to be out in 4 years or 5 years, and you're going to come out with a GI Bill. You're going to come out with experience. You're going to come out with so much stuff than to sit there 4 years of idling what you should do in the future. It's take a dive. I think that's the biggest thing for the youth right now. It's the unwillingness to take that dive. I did. I dove in.
Well, those are words to really take to heart, because it's the unknown. I have a grandson, 14. We had a conversation last night. He wants to do a lot of different things, but it's truly about setting this example as you've been a witness to. But you know what? Michelle Hooper, which I think you may know, also a Navy, and I know her well. She just tried calling you guys in, and I'm going to ask JC to read that, because my eyes are back, and maybe he can read it better.
And you would ask me when I don't have my glasses on, but no, Michelle, and I kind of chatted with her a little yesterday on text, and Michelle said, "Hi, Val and Jaime. I tried to call in, but no answer. I have a question for both of you. When is your next map reading course in Canada?" Didn't know that. And the other one, she laughing at you. And you remember that on the boat for our bike ride. Thank you both for all that you are doing over the years in the service. It was awesome to serve with you and to race with you too. Happy Veterans Day.
I'm glad you read that.
Michelle, that is so wonderful. That is so absolutely wonderful. And, I don't know what's wrong with the phone, but we try to get them fixed. But you guys can see the questions as well. Can you respond to it?
Yeah, I'll put it in context. It's an interesting story. We were on 3rd Fleet staff where Val and I met, and we were up doing maneuvers and doing some staff talks with the Canadian staff and their leadership up there. And then some of the bike riders on that staff decided to race the boat. The boat was going to leave Victoria and then go and dock in Vancouver, but they were going to out the ocean and then come back in. The bike riders, I think you said six of us, decided to race the ship, but we were going to stay on the roads inside. And we actually had to carry a ferry, had to go through a bridge. We had to do a lot of coordination.
Amazing race.
It was almost an amazing race. And if I remember right, we beat the ship. Do that, but the leadership let us do it. Let us just go on your own. And there's 6 of us, right? And the thing about Michelle, everybody had a nice hybrid, and she had a mountain bike, so she did a tougher race than we did. I was very impressed with the fact that she went with a mountain bike. It was a good memory. It was a lot of fun.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
For calling
Thank you.
in. And she's, like Al said, he also knows her because she's down in San Diego and has
That's
a
right.
health and
She's a
wellness
physical
business.
therapist.
Another small business owner. So shout out to our veteran small business owners. So. And we're still friends today. So.
Top Gun's a big show right now. You're an aviator. What do you think it's taught you, and something you can share with all of us? I mean, skin in the game, as Dr. Eric Hall kind of invites us to share, this is all about truly skin in the game, however you slice it. But you being an aviator, that's a high risk occupation. Share with us and what it's taught you and what we can share with others.
Well, we want to take the break first because
our time's right.
So we got to take a station break. But when we come back, that's going to be the first question that we're going to ask, and I want to hear it as well. So I hope our viewers and our listeners, I hope you all are having just as much fun as I am, because this is interesting, and you get the chance to know these 2 great guests. If you want to be part of the conversation, 1-866-577-2473, or just go to the comments and ask any question that you like. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs.
Create is the thoughts that we have. Each and every last one of us have these thoughts, these ideas, these dreams. We have these things every day. A lot of times when we get these thoughts, we don't want to do anything but lay down and go back to sleep or whatever that might be, and we wake up and the thoughts are gone. I believe that a high spirit always telling us something every single day. Every single day. So create the ideals that you get, that you think about, that you dream of. You say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it.
Of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And I tell you again, this is absolutely fantastic. And I've been sitting here with Dr. Harry Reyes, and he has been watching and listening to the show. So, Doctor, what do you think about the show so far?
Thank you very much for your invitation to this show. Yes, I think it's very, very interesting and enlightening. The word veteran really means anyone who has a lot of experience on something. And listening to the people who have been on the service is very good. And I'd like to, with your permission, to ask them a question.
Sure.
And I wonder if you could share, each one of you, to the young generation and for us, what is the best that you can remember that happened to you because of your career in the service? And what it would be the worst? Both. The best and the worst.
Yeah, well, a lot for me has to do with the tours you have. I mean, of course, I could say the academy was the best, stuff like that. But after the academy, becoming an officer and doing all the right things and being having people believe in you. When I became a commanding officer of my own squadron, where I had 102 instructor pilots underneath me, when I had 75 airplanes, when we flew 450 hours a day, I was king. I mean, I was like king, and it was so unbelievable. And then the next tour, which is just immediately after that, after being king, I'm the operations officer on the USS Incheon, one of the most challenging tours. And the reason I took that is to keep my kids in the same high school. So I said, I don't care about me. I'll keep my kids in the same high school. I'll just go to this ship. Well, that ship was the toughest thing I'd ever done. And it was unbelievable. And it was the worst tour, but definitely the most challenging tour because of too many circumstances to talk about it now. But it was just a lot of things didn't come together, and we did our best. We still went on deployment. We were safe. But boy, was it challenging.
And I would say the best is, it's hard to pick. One of them I was going to say is, these the friendships you make, you know, and the camaraderie. You know, here's somebody, Michelle Rupert, that I met in 2004, I think, or two, and we're still friends to this day. Those kind of things. But then also some of the missions. Probably I felt one of my most important missions was when I worked at Joint Intelligence Task Force combating terrorism, and it was right in the middle of the really tough times. And you know, when you feel like you're making a difference, there's really kind of nothing much better than that. And the worst would be leaving. Not leaving the military. I was ready to retire, but just leaving when you're moving from place to place to place. And I think that's why I include that in my books, because it's so hard, because you've made these really close friendships and you're going someplace completely new. You don't even know where the grocery store is, and the important things, but you just, leaving people behind that you become very close to. So.
Thank you.
Wow. That's, didn't even think about that one, but all of those are, being in search for 20 something years, and it is hard when you have to leave friends behind, because you don't know whether you're ever going to see them again or keep in touch. Everything seemed to be good at that time. Oh yeah, we're gonna know each other forever. I have had friends that I thought that way, and that I haven't heard from 25 years. So hey, big guy, you was getting ready to ask a question.
Yeah, I think Jaime kind of covered some of that, your experience on aviation, but the lead on to this, since you retired, about, Public Law 106-50, I talk about it, legislated August 17 of 1999, which prompted me to retire April 1st, 2000, and start my business because of that law. What prompted you? And this is important for every veteran out there, because they either going to get hired, and most veterans don't stick around with a hire, but they're truly entrepreneurs. What drove you to start your business, and a very viable business, if you will? Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, I was going to just retire, and then I started writing the book, and it was doing pretty well. And then I had some former bosses that came to me and asked me to do some consulting work, and that was going pretty well. And then at the same time, I had another Navy buddy, Jay Maraski out there. Hello. She asked me, hey, look, you want to go to this Women's Veterans Entrepreneur Program? And I said, why not? So I sort of took the things I was doing. Then I added the trying to help veterans write to it. Although that part, I don't monetize that part, but it's just, I felt like maybe by being successful in my writing career, other veterans would look and say, hey, maybe I could do that too, or do something similar, or hey, I can write a book. So I did, and I would also say to other people that there's great programs all around. Southwest Veterans Business Resource Center, and the Small Business Administration, the Institute for Military and Veteran Families. There's lots of programs. So for people wanting to start a business, talk to other people in the business, talk to Al, talk to Dr. JC, talk to people who've done it, and learn some lessons, and take that information. Maybe they'll pass their information on to you, their lessons learned. So.
Did you find it? Now you got a good career behind you, so the transition may have been a little different than, say, someone that has no retirement, if you will. Capital is key. Information is capital. What can you share with those that don't have what many of us here on the screen, what our retirement has? And that's, we don't have to look for a job. We don't got to start a job, because we can live off our retirement. But the majority of veterans, as you know, aren't retirees.
Right.
How could you express a thought that inspires them? And yesterday we had Marilyn Jackson, E3 Air Force. Wow. Okay. So she certainly had some great influence. So the whole idea here in honoring veterans is what can we impart them globally to take a path, and taking what Jaime said, from the start, it was like waiver after waiver. It's there. When someone says no, you say, well, let's waiver that negative to a positive. So if you both can kind of, share that thought to inspire other veterans to honor those that are no longer here, to carry the torch that we got, skin in the game. So tell us.
Yeah, I'd say take advantage of.
One thing we need to do is, so we only got 2 minutes left in the show. So if we can kind
There
of
you
get
go,
that
Jaime.
in,
You and I talking.
because I'll have to close it out. Okay.
I'd say that would be the answer to the last question. Same thing. Take advantage of the many resources out there and talk to people. Just do something. If you're thinking about starting a business, start somewhere.
Well, I think they got to reach
what
out
about
to
you,
us,
Jaime?
JC, because something is there on the wall. And we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I tell you, Al and I and Dr. Eric and a lot of us are going to be doing a lot of great things coming up, in especially the beginning of the year. And we ask you guys to pay attention, tune in, and support if you can, because our heart is in making sure that we provide the necessary services and skill sets, whatever it is, to help veterans come along, and also disseminate information that they might not know about. 30 seconds or less. Can you explain that?
Say it again, JC.
That's 30 seconds or less. Can you sum up some of the things that we're looking at doing to make sure that we instill in the veterans?
We're going to be critical to the 6 honorees. Remember, we still have Vietnam combat veterans that feel dismissed. We want to make sure that's not the case. That's what this is about. You know, although I enlisted this day 48 years ago in 74, I did not go to Vietnam and ended in 75. But you know, the wall behind me are my uncles and my brother on the top line. They all went to Vietnam, and they paid the heavy price. But nonetheless, to JC's point, 2023, between now and then, this is pre-deployment for us. We're gonna tease this until the week's end, because we got to do exactly what we haven't done, and that's the VA card. This true foundation of our great nation is veterans having 18 million VA cards in their hand, and only 30% do. So we're going to build it up.
We out of time, but the VA card is one of the main things. But I tell you what, thank you so much for being guests on the show today. You know, Big Al, man, I look forward to doing all these great things with you. I'd like to thank our listener audience for taking time to tune into the James Cooley Show. Remember, tomorrow we'll be back, same time, same place, with another Veterans or Two. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley. We'll see you tomorrow.